CALVO'S Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Cars Plus kick off our holidays by supporting the Make-A-Wish Jingle Rock Virtual Run. Visit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Guam and CNMI Facebook page for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Starting now on Primetime, the Guam Police holds a press conference regarding a death investigation in Tamuning. Plus, vaccination efforts continue up north at Ukadu High School, and Congressman Michael Sinicolas holds his press conference detailing the $900 billion COVID relief bill passed by the U.S. Congress.
Hafa day and good evening. I'm Adriana Cotero. The Guam Police Department announced during a press conference this afternoon they are searching for the prime suspect in a death investigation they believe involves foul play. Police Chief Steve Ignacio says he wouldn't have called a press conference on short notice if it wasn't important.
We have been actively searching for him since information was made available and leads were developed through the course of this investigation.
Police are hoping the community will come forward with information as to the whereabouts of Ronat, aka Ronato Chitaro. He is believed to be the prime suspect in a stabbing turned fatal that occurred on December 8th outside an apartment complex in Tamuning.
On December 14th, we were notified that the victim, Mr. Arthur Wakuk, has passed away.
GPD has already taken one person into custody and remains confined at DOC. But the main focus is to find Chutaro.
We have been searching his known locations, including Hemlani's apartments by Dokumo, behind Dokumo headquarters, Heritage Apartments in Dunka, RC Apartments in Dunka. These are in Tamuning areas. At times, we believe that he does not have a permanent or fixed address, and he may be a homeless person as well. And he hangs along the beaches along East Tagatnya, Tamuning, and Tuman village areas.
Chutaro has a criminal history. He was released from the Department of Corrections 4 months ago after spending 2 years behind bars for robbery, aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony, assault against a peace officer, rioting, disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, public drunkenness, and jurisdiction over an adult. Prior to that, he spent time at DOC various times between 2013 through 2015 on different charges including burglary, theft of a motor vehicle, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct.
The important thing to note is that Mr. Chutaro is wanted. And to anybody out there who has information, we ask that you call the Guam Police Department, our dispatch at 472-8911, Crime Stoppers, or we have set up a mobile phone that we are now using at a command post that we've erected so that we can gather information. That number for the command post is 899-0566.
GPD urges the community not to approach Chutaro, but instead contact them immediately. And for anyone who may be helping him elude police, the chief has this stern warning.
You will be held accountable and you will be charged and prosecuted by the Attorney General of Guam.
GPD can't officially classify the case as a homicide until an autopsy is conducted, which can be anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks until a forensic pathologist arrives on island. And today was the final call out for all healthcare professionals and first responders under Phase 1A to receive the vaccine before clinic doors close. A reopening date has not been announced, but the second dose is expected to be administered the first week of the new year. Here's more from today's operations at Ukadu High School.
Even though it's not 100%, every single percent counts, and it could prevent someone's grandma from getting the disease.
To protect our community. This is Aaron Arizala's reason for making his way to Ukadu High School this afternoon to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Arizala tells KUAM when the public health emergency hit, he was fresh out of college, and he rose to the challenge. Throughout the pandemic, Arizala worked under Department of Public Health's COVID response unit, providing case investigation and contact tracing assistance. He says his life has completely changed.
This year it's been quite challenging, but I'm pushing through it, and I believe that, we're going to get through this, and it's going to, we're all going to grow out of this, and we're all going to learn from our experiences.
Also reflecting on the past year after getting vaccinated, veterinarian at Wiesel Animal Hospital, Genevieve Weaver, is hopeful for a more prosperous 2021.
It was a very busy, exhausting year, but we're ready for it to be behind us now, and we're moving forward. I'm hoping 2021 is a much more positive year, and I think with the vaccine, I'm crossing our fingers that this will start to make a difference.
Eager to be vaccinated, Guam Department of Education Administrator Elatero Mesa stopped by the clinic to see if he meets Phase 1A qualifications.
It's a deadly disease, and I want to make sure that when I deal with students and people with DOE, I'm clear. I will not be a carrier or spreading the virus. Even those students at that young age, they are immune. They have a stronger immune system. I don't have that strong immune system. And the scary part is that people are asymptomatic. Sometimes they look normal, as if they don't have any disease, but then they're carriers, and they can spread it to you.
While Mesa has to wait a bit longer, he just looks forward to the day he can be reunited with friends and family to dance.
I love dancing. I like to go dancing, and I can't, so I have to dance by myself.
One step closer to some normalcy, DPHSS immunization advisor Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero received one of the first vaccines on Guam last week. He reports no adverse reactions.
I feel fine. My arm was a little sore that night, but I just put some ice and I was fine the next morning.
While there are some short-term side effects detected, people remain skeptical because of the unknown long-term effects. But as Dr. Bob explains, a known potential long-term effect of the coronavirus is death.
COVID-19, sometimes you can have long-term effects, and for those unfortunate people, the 100+ people that have died, I mean, there's no more long-term effect than death itself. And the vaccines, there haven't been reported any deaths, and the other long-term effects, we wait and see, but being alive is a lot better.
In just a couple weeks, Dr. Bob will be getting the second dose of the vaccine. Last night, the Joint Information Center confirmed Guam's 120th COVID-19 related fatality. The patient was an 80-year-old male with underlying conditions. He was admitted to Guam Memorial Hospital on November 11th and tested positive that same day. And right before news time, the 121st COVID-19 related fatality occurred at GMH this morning at approximately 11:16 a.m. The patient was a 66-year-old male with underlying conditions. He was admitted to GMH on December 3rd and a known positive case. As for the latest numbers, the Joint Information Center on Tuesday reported 27 out of 747 test samples from various labs tested positive for COVID-19. This brings the total amount of officially reported cases of the virus on Guam to 7,238, with 449 in active isolation. 23 people are currently hospitalized with the virus, with 8 under ICU care and 6 receiving ventilator support. The COVID area risk score is 1.6. On Monday evening, E911 operations were temporarily relocated to both the Guam Fire Department HQ in Hagåtña and Guam Police Department headquarters in Tizen after a GFD dispatcher tested positive for COVID-19. The dispatcher began feeling ill while on duty at the E911 center. The area was deep cleaned and sanitized by the GFD decontamination unit before operations returned to normal this morning at 7 a.m. The GFD positive employee remains in home isolation, while personnel who were identified as close contacts remain in home quarantine until testing is conducted on Saturday. To date, there have been 12 GFD personnel that have tested positive for COVID-19. The Education Board today unanimously approved a resolution to reopen public schools on January 19th for face-to-face classroom instructions, subject to the final approval of the governor. In-person classes were suspended at the start of the school year in August due to the pandemic. But after weeks of planning and preparation, the GDOE board believes it's now safe to allow a limited number of students and teachers back on campus. In a news conference, Superintendent John Fernandez expressed confidence that they've put in place the necessary measures to help ensure health and safety. He says surveys also indicate that there will only be a minimal number of students who will opt for face-to-face. It's about 33% for elementary schools, 20% for middle schools, and just 11% for high schools. In addition, they'll all be divided into 3 cohorts or groups, which will further reduce the numbers on campus at any given time. Online and hard copy instruction will still continue. The reopening of the classrooms will be preceded by a 2-week teacher training and preparation period. The government secured nearly $12.5 million in education stabilization funds through the CARES Act funding to bridge the gap and strengthen connections to online learning through the PATH project. Tyler Matanani has more.
The Guam Department of Education will administer the PATH project, providing access to homes, which is an internet service provider voucher program that provides no-cost home internet services to students and families. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
It's the discretion of the governor, and so the lieutenant governor, myself, and Superintendent John Fernando, and also the other institutions sat down and looked at how we could best use this and give these out to the students.
As a result, Governor Liu says they were able to help minimize the cost for students and families in terms of distance learning. $8.9 million will be administered by GDOE for all public, private, and charter school students. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio.
And of course, the Department of Education has criteria for that, and he'll get into that. But the private schools and the charter schools have allocated amounts that they're going to be able to be empowered to determine how these amounts are going to respond to the needs of their student populations.
Out of the $12 million, $956,000 have been provided to the University of Guam and $529,000 to the Guam Community College to help offset all or part of student internet and online student fees for the fall and spring semesters. PBS Guam will also administer the PBS University program as part of the efforts to help enhance distance learning. Additionally, the Department of Youth Affairs will be working in conjunction with GDOE to establish community learning centers.
And in this regard, the Department of Youth Affairs, through their resource centers, and the Guam Public Library, through all of their 5 branches, are going to expand online services, online connections, hardware available for students to continue their learning and to help supplement the effort that not only the Department of Education and the private and charter schools are doing, but also the institutions for higher learning.
A total of $201,000 in ESF will help to expand wireless internet access in library facilities and support the implementation of community learning centers, along with providing desktop computers. All students and families from GDOE, private schools, and charter schools may apply to participate in the PATH project. To avail of the no-cost home internet services, families must apply at their child's schools, and students must have qualified devices such as GDOE laptops. These services are expected to continue up to September, which marks the end of the fiscal year. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
All students and families from GDOE, private schools, and charter schools may apply to participate in the PATH project. However, students and families will be prioritized to participate in the program based upon income. The program also aims to provide a lower bulk rate option for internet services to families who do not meet priority eligibility. For the full priority list, go to KUAM.com. GDOE applications for the PATH project are expected to become available at the end of December. And stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Hi, my boy. Miss you. Because home is only home when I'm with you.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
CALVO'S Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead.
Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
It takes all of us to protect Guam. Join the Guam Visitors Bureau in our social media campaign series aimed to protect our island and each other in this COVID-19 era. Participate in the Protect Guam movement by wearing your mask, showcasing Guam's heroes, staying active, and downloading the Guam COVID Alert app. Post and share your content with us, use the hashtag ProtectGuam, and you could win $100. It's that simple. Check out visitguam.com for details. Let's reclaim our lives, our economy, and our tourism industry.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
After months of wrangling, Congress finally passed a much-anticipated $900 billion COVID relief bill. It includes a new round of direct stimulus payments, unemployment benefits, and funding assistance for businesses. Guam Delegate Michael San Nicolas laid out the details of the new package in a news conference from Washington.
Congressman San Nicolas says one of the more contentious issues was the direct payments to taxpayers. Congress settled on a stimulus amount of $600 for individual filers and $1,200 for married couples filing jointly. That's half of what was paid out in the CARES Act.
That was the number that everyone was able to finally come to terms with and agree on to move this forward. The new administration is absolutely open to reconsidering everything that has to do with COVID relief.
Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA, will also be extended, and the additional payments known as FPUC will be reinstated, although the amounts will be reduced from $600 a week to $300.
So this is going to cover us all the way up until the first quarter of the new year. It extends eligible weeks claimed from 39 weeks to 50 weeks. So if you've exhausted your 39 weeks, you're going to be extended all the way up until a 50-week claiming window.
The bill also includes money for rental assistance. The territories were able to carve out specific allotments, and Guam will get some $75 million.
This is a very, very significant breakthrough because it's going to allow for eligible households to receive up to 12 months of assistance. And that goes back over the course of the pandemic. So if you have accumulated any rental deficits to your landlords, this $75 million will allow you to close out those deficits.
The local housing agency will have to act fast, though, as the eviction moratorium was extended only until January 31st of 2021. Meanwhile, there's also help for small businesses. A second round of the Paycheck Protection Program, designed to help companies keep employees employed, was approved. The terms and conditions will be the same as the CARES Act.
SBA will forgive loans if all employee retention criteria are met and the funds are used for eligible expenses. PPP loans have an interest rate of 1%. Loans issued prior to June 5th have a maturity of 2 years. Loans issued after June 5th have a maturity of 5 years.
What the bill didn't address was more direct aid to local governments, although San Nicolas says for those that still have CARES Act money, the deadline to spend it was extended from the end of this year to the end of 2021. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Separately, San Nicolas also confirmed that a provision was included to allow Compact of Free Association migrants back into the Medicaid program for the first time since 1996. He says it will save the locally funded medically indigent program millions. It's a pass without the puffs for GVB. Tourism officials have come out of the woodwork to say no to cannabis use in Tuman. Senator Clint Rigel zoomed in to tell us how he really feels about the burning topic of weed in Tuman.
Author of the Cannabis Industry Act of 2019, Senator Clint Rigel says the recent outcry from the tourism industry in Tuman is unfounded. Tourism officials argue the sale of marijuana in Tuman would be catastrophic to their bottom line, stating that an economic impact study was conducted for the Cannabis Control Board, not reflecting the concerns of the tourism industry as a whole. But Senator Rigel says he's got the papers.
That's false. It was not the Cannabis Control Board's economic impact study. It's GVB's economic impact study. I have a copy of it. In fact, it says the study was prepared for GVB. And the reason I know it's GVB's study is because that study was mandated by the Cannabis Industry Act.
Senator Rigel says GVB had their opportunity to produce data to demonstrate the effects of cannabis on the tourism industry.
So in the law, we said, fine, GVB, you're concerned, you want an economic impact study, so we're going to legalize it, but before it can be sold anywhere, do the economic impact study. And by the time, this will be enough time for you to do the economic impact study. They hired a company called Tourism Economics, I believe. It's paid for out of GVB. They procured it. The study makes no mention of any loss of revenue. In fact, the study cites increases to revenue, increases to tourism.
And apparently there's a second study showing the exact opposite. GVB maintains that according to their sensitivity study, weed in Tuman would result in a negative impact of $578.8 million to the tourism industry.
Now GVB is coming out claiming that they've done another study that says it's going to be bad for tourism. But my understanding is that it's not an actual study. I haven't seen an actual study. I checked with my colleagues and the legislature and the Cannabis Control Board. We haven't received any study. Right. So I don't know what study they're talking about. My understanding is they just kind of made a bunch of assumptions. I think they just guessed. They just said, okay, how much do you think we're going to lose? Oh, how about 50% of this market? Yeah, 50% sounds good. Yeah, put that down.
And as far as his take on cannabis in Tuman?
And I'm concerned with that because I don't think enough people realize that there are already a lot of restrictions on where a cannabis business can be placed. We put that into the law.
With the law prohibiting cannabis facilities 1,000 feet from any public park, school, church, and a few others, the further narrowing down of where you could set up shop could potentially kill the industry before it even starts.
It's already very restrictive, and I'm concerned about restricting it anymore. We're just going to say, it's almost like we're saying don't have any businesses at all. And if that's the case, then we're not going to have a truly regulated industry, and then the black market will just continue to thrive.
For Senator Rigel, it's a case of what you don't know scares you.
But I really think a lot of these concerns are being just driven by fear of something that they don't understand.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Federal drug defendant Michael Bamba gets to spend Christmas with his family. The court is closely tracking Bamba's compliance after he violated his pretrial release conditions. He admitted to using meth between August 30th and November 7th of this year and faces a revocation of his supervised release and imprisonment term of 3 to 9 months. In 2017, Bamba was sentenced to 57 months in prison and 3 years of a supervised release for conspiracy to distribute meth. It was stated in court this morning his most recent drug test was negative, and he continues to attend drug treatment twice a week. The court allowed he remain released until his disposition hearing set for January 12th. Defense counsel Jay Arreola is doing everything in his power to get his client, Daryl Jake Guerrero's trial underway. In district court this morning, Arreola stated he wants Guerrero's speedy trial rights afforded to him. However, the court has 6 trials to line up and is unable to get a jury paneled at this time. Guerrero was indicted back in January for possession of 50 or more grams of meth with intent to distribute. Chief Judge Francis Hidinko Gatewood said the plan is to first schedule trials for older cases, and both parties agreed to jury selection for Guerrero on February 9, 2021. Jury selection is expected to occur at the National Guard. Coming up, we continue with Bree's Holiday Baking Club. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
your community calendars, brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
Time doesn't stop, and neither should you or your business. Introducing Stroll Courier. Now you can have all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide without leaving the comfort of your home or office. Delivery has never been easier with our pre-booking and express same-day delivery options. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today. Stroll Courier. Book, track, deliver.
We're doing a good job, Guam. In the past couple of weeks, we've managed to keep the CAR score below 5. Together, we rose to the challenge when the governor asked us all to strive for 5.
In the past couple of weeks, we've not only brought the CAR score way down from being in the high 40s to below 5, we've shown the governor that we're capable of altering the course of this pandemic. We were on a path to uncertainty, but now because of all of our actions, we're doing better.
But better doesn't necessarily mean that we are out of the woods. We still need to watch our distance, wash our hands, and wear our masks. So please keep striving, Guam.
We got this.
The only way you beat 6-month aged cheddar toasted on the shell of a chalupa is to put it in this box. The Toasted Cheddar Chalupa box is back for a limited time, only at Taco Bell.
And now it's time to continue our week-long series, Bree's Holiday Baking Club, where Sabrina has enlisted the kitchen wizardry of her friends to show you how to make amazing Christmas time desserts. And tonight, social media influencer, content creator, and KUAM alum, Cami Agarola shows you her twist on traditional champolado or chocolate rice pudding. It's delicious, easy to make, and healthy.
Hafa everyone, and Biba Ha'anin Christmas. My name is Cami Aguirola, and today I will be showing you how to make my version of champolado. If I'm being honest, my actual favorite Christmas dessert would have to be my Gama's Letizia. It's perfect, it makes me feel like home, it's always served around Christmas and very special other holidays, but because the holidays are looking a little different this year, I wanted to come up with my own recipe to keep me in the spirit at home. But this one has a little twist. Recently, I've done a web series with Micronesia Climate Change Alliance promoting a plant-based cookbook, and it also inspired me to make a vegan version of champolado. I've switched out some of the dairy products with non-dairy alternatives. If I do say so myself, it's still quite good. It's not as good as my papa's, according to what my mom tells me, but it is a close second. So first, I'm gonna show you some of the ingredients, and then we'll begin. So for the materials and ingredients we're gonna have a medium-sized pot with any large spoon will be fine. Up next we have, I measured out 2 cups of white, washed and uncooked rice. We're going to be soaking that in. About 4 cups of water that I have set aside here. Now for our dairy replacements, which make this a vegan champolado. You can have 12 ounces of either coconut milk or almond milk. For this particular demonstration, I'm going to have about 6 ounces of coconut milk and 6 ounces of almond milk, but you can do either or. So a full can of coconut milk or about 12 ounces of almond. And our last 2 ingredients are definitely to taste. I would say I use 3/4 of a cup of sugar, white sugar, and 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And you can adjust those to taste. All right, let's head to the stove. So first we're gonna put our uncooked rice in the pot. Right now I have it on medium-high heat. And up next we're gonna have our 4 cups of water go right into the bowl. We're gonna stir that around. So once I have my water in the pot, I'm going to leave this for about 5 minutes and we'll check back on it later. So after about 5 minutes on a medium-high heat, I took off the cover, and you're gonna have this type of consistency. Now I already measured out 6 ounces of the coconut milk, so I'm just gonna add that straight in and then give it a little stir. And then I'm going to add an additional 6 ounces of almond milk. So like I said the first time, it doesn't have to be a little half and half concoction like I'm doing it here, but this is just to show you what type of consistency and what type of taste you're looking for. I personally like it with the coconut milk because it is a little thicker and I like my champolado a little bit more on the thick side. Almond milk is good if you want it to have a thinner consistency and not have it so like chunky. Coconut milk is also good because you don't have to have that much of an added white granulated sugar. Because coconut milk is already pretty sweet on its own, I don't really add that much sugar when I use a full can of coconut milk. So now I'm going to start by adding ½ cup of cocoa powder. That looks about right. Okay, so we're gonna add this in. I think I'm gonna switch over to a whisk. My handy dandy assistant over here. So I switched to a whisk because I was just not getting all the chunks of chocolate broken down enough. So with the whisk it was a little bit easier. So if you want to have a whisk on hand, that'll probably help you out. So now I'm adding in some white sugar. Typical recipes usually call for about 3/4 of a cup, but today I'm just doing it to taste because I think that coconut milk is pretty sweet on its own. Let's just add a little bit more because I don't think we're gonna need a lot of sugar in this. So now that everything is in the pot, it's incorporated, and it's smelling amazing, I'm going to leave this on the stove at a medium heat for about 20 minutes. Then we're gonna plate it, give it a try, and see how we did. Should I put my Santa hat on for the taste test? It's good. Delicious. All right, everyone, thank you so much for following my recipe on vegan champolado. If you try this recipe, make sure to take a photo and tag KUAM News. And thank you so much, Bree, for including me in this holiday special. Adios.
All right, now that's something I'm definitely gonna have to try. And when we return, your birthday shoutouts.
When I need to pay my Docomo Pacific bills or manage my account, all I do is visit mydocomopacific.com. It's easy to set up. I just visit the website and click on the link to set up my account. I filled out the registration page starting with my account number. I received a text message with a temporary username and password. After making initial changes on my security settings, I'm in! Now I can make payments or manage my Docomo Pacific account without needing to leave home. With Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
5 breadsticks for my triple treat, 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat, and a pizza plus another pizza. The triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
Before we close out the news tonight, the latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on this Tuesday on December 22. See the way that works. To Mariana Santiago, who celebrates birthday number 8 today. To our TikTok princess. Gotta love that. May all your wishes come true. Love Papa, Grandma, Daddy, Kaden, and the family. Keep on making those TikToks, Mariana. Jaden Kai Mendoza celebrates birthday number 15 today. And to our beautiful Jaden, you're growing up too fast, girl. Love your familia, who's very, very proud of you. Catherine Ramirez, birthday shout out to our ND79er royal sister, Catherine. Happy birthday and many more years to come, Catherine. Love your fellow royals, sisters always, from the ND class of 1979. And Jeanette Chargalov Duenas gets birthday love, and may God bless you with many more years to come is your shout out. Filled with joy, faith, good health, and love always. All your family and friends say simply, we love you.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. That's going to do it for us here on Prime Time. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays and be safe.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for In the Zone. With me, Joshua Cepeda from Tennis Academy of Guam. The organization just wrapped up another youth tennis clinic at the Sheraton. You guys were able to fill spots quickly. How fortunate are you guys to just be able to continue to do what you guys are doing?
Yeah, we're very fortunate, you know. It's a good experience for these kids to come out and play, especially in a time like this, when they're all cooped up in their homes and they're able to come out and exercise and just get some fresh air instead of breathing in whatever they've been doing at home.
Tennis Academy of Guam, you guys continue to, you know, allow these kids to play sports, but also be in a safe environment as well.
Yeah, so at the Tennis Academy of Guam, we only allow 6 students per court. And at the Sheraton, that allows us to have 18, which is a good number. And each space at the tennis court, they're all sectioned off, so each kid has their own section to stay during the breaks.